Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this presentation to show you the capabilities of Workbooks CRM, what areas of your business it can address, and how my company, Wizard Systems, can help you with any CRM implementation you're considering there. We run these short presentations normally every week, focusing on different aspects of Workbooks and CRM. And today I'm going to take a closer look at activities and how you manage your time efficiently by using a tool like Workbooks CRM. Now, this presentation will be approximately 30 minutes or so in duration, so this is just a basic session. Every company uses CRM in different ways. Everyone's got different requirements, and I wouldn't have enough time this afternoon to go over all of the capabilities. So after this session, if you want to explore Workbooks in more detail, we'd love to organize a one-to-one session with you, and we can obviously go over your specific needs there. Also on the call today, we've got some people already trialing Workbooks, some that may have had previous presentations and some who've never seen it at all. So excuse me if I'm going over some old ground here for some of you. I've got to go the speed of the slowest, so to speak. The audio part of this presentation is one way only, by the way. As you might have gathered, your microphone is on mute. If you've got any questions, and I can see there's a few questions coming through already, please type those into the questions section on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to cover those at the end. I'm open to answering any questions you've got about Workbooks. Maybe if they're of ultra technical nature, I may need to come back to you, but any question you've got, just pop those in there and I'll do my best to answer those at the end of the session. Also, when I do read out the questions, I'll just give your first name, protecting your identity, so don't worry about that. I'll just reference your first name there with the question. Also, this session is being recorded. After the presentation, you will receive an email with a link to the recording, which you can share with your colleagues, and we'll pop it up on YouTube as well for good measure. Okay, so let's get started then. So just a brief mention about my company, Wizard Systems. We're an independent reseller of CRM solutions. All we do is CRM, and Workbooks is a very popular system that we supply. And as you know, you subscribe to Workbooks, so there's nothing to install. We've got some customers who do their own thing with Workbooks. They set the systems up themselves. They teach themselves how to use it. But if you need any help at any stage of the way, help in getting the system set up, migrating data from old systems to the new system, customizing Workbooks to your requirements, integrating it with other applications, training, we provide training at your premises, or you can come to us. We're based just north of Bristol, but we cover all areas of the UK and further afield. We can also do training online, a bit similar to today's call, but a lot more interactive. So if you're not able to travel, then we can do that. Or if you just want information on some specific topic, then we can do training online for you. And all ongoing support as well. We've got a nice, friendly, responsive help desk here that are ready to answer any of your calls on Workbooks, and we have various ongoing support services here we can discuss with you. So, of course, the key thing in any discussions with you is really what you're looking to achieve with Workbooks and CRM, what issues you're looking to solve, what objectives you're looking to achieve. Are you replacing an older legacy CRM system, or maybe you're just starting up in business and you recognize you need a system for tracking your leads and helping you develop the business going forward? So you're looking to improve your marketing, track sales, track quotes more effectively, or improve customer service, or as we're here today to discuss how you manage your activities more efficiently. Workbooks can answer any or all of those questions, and that's really what we want to try and see in any discussions with you, is how will you measure the success of a CRM implementation a few months down the road. So what is Workbooks? Well, it's a ready-made central system to help you track all the information about your leads, prospects, and customers, and tracking your interactions with those people. There's some marketing tools in there as well to make you more targeted with your communications to prospects and customers. We also have, unusually for a CRM system, we have the ability to create quotes. Many other CRM solutions rely on something else to do the quote and may or may not integrate with that. Well, we've got quotes built in, and indeed there's options for then creating orders and invoices. There's actually two different editions of Workbooks. When you sign up for Workbooks proper, you've got two choices. There's CRM edition or business edition. Now, business edition, priced slightly higher, and I'll cover pricing towards the end. Business edition will allow you to create orders and invoices and produce credit notes and record customer payments. And you can mix and match these two editions, by the way, as well. So you can have some of you on CRM and some of you on business. We can also track customer service. Do you have a customer care team in your company? Do you have engineers or technicians or a help desk? They too could be using Workbooks, thereby improving teamwork and the sharing of information between your separate teams there, so the support people know what the sales people are up to and vice versa. And as well as Workbooks being a great productivity tool, it's also a management tool for you, so helping you control the business and make better decisions there going forwards. Now, Workbooks is a UK system. It's 100% cloud. There's nothing to install. You don't need to worry about backups or upgrades. That's all done for you. It's a UK system. All of the data is in the UK, and we're often asked, where is my information? Well, it's all held very, very securely in the UK. And as regards security, Workbooks is certified in all of the 6 releases or levels of the government G-Cloud program. So if you were central government or you were local government, you can't use a system unless it has these certification levels, and Workbooks does have that. And as regards reliability, well, last year, 2014, Workbooks had a 99.99% uptime, so very reliable system. It's always there, whenever, wherever you are. And Workbooks has won the UK, in the UK, Workbooks has won the CRM Product of the Year Awards the last 3 years running. It was just announced a couple of weeks ago that we've got the 2015 award as well for Workbooks, so great kudos for the system winning lots of different national and international awards. So just focusing on contact management now. So with Workbooks, you've got a ready-made database for tracking your leads. There's a concept of a lead, and then looking at the sales process, converting that lead to a prospect that you may want to utilize if you want to, but an easy way of tracking your prospects, your customers, and suppliers. It's also very customizable. Shortly, when I show you the system, you can remove screens easily from the different screens. You can add new fields, no programming required. You can add new fields to the different screens. You can search on any of this information as well very easily and build up lists based on any of this information. You can also deploy different security levels. So if you've got a need to hide information from certain people or preventing someone from deleting stuff, you've got a concept of user groups in Workbooks or user roles, and when you add people, when you add a new employee to the system, they're added to one or many of these different groups to have that level of security. So you're managing all of your activities in Workbooks, your tasks, your schedule, your activities. Thereby, you're building up a wonderful client history of everything that's gone on with that client. We can integrate with any email system out there. There's a very nice integration with Outlook, which is priced separately because not everyone uses Outlook. So there's a very nice optional integration with Outlook to share your emails as you send and receive your emails. They can be copied into the Workbook system, stored against the client's record. And also with that integration with Outlook, we can share in a bi-directional way your activities and your contacts. So if you put a contact into Workbooks or you put an activity into Outlook, it will automatically appear in the other system. No need to type in stuff twice, and you're keeping the two systems up to date. So a great way of sharing also contacts, calendar, and tasks between the two systems. We include mobile access in your subscription. I'll be showing you the system today operating within Chrome. We work with any browser, but also in the subscription we can integrate with any mobile device. You can access it from any mobile system, tablet or similar. We are shortly going to be launching also a downloadable app, so you'll have offline access to Workbooks also in the near future. Now, many people, I think, on today's calls are from a marketing area. I notice a few names and job titles there. So Workbooks is a great marketing tool. We've got an easy way of importing data into Workbooks and exporting data out. If you've got data right now in Excel, or you go to a trade show and you come away with the visitor list, you can easily upload those contacts into Workbooks, typically in a CSV, comma separated value format. Do you have a contact form on your website? Well, that too can be integrated with Workbooks very easily, so that when somebody inquires via your website, that automatically becomes a lead record in the Workbook system. And with the automation in Workbooks, there's some workflow and automation in there, so Workbooks 24/7 can be made to monitor itself and looking for things to do. These leads that come in, you can be notified of those as standard in your email inbox. So before we do any marketing campaign, we've got an easy way of creating a list, creating a group of people that have some common criteria, very easily done. And then we integrate with three very well-known email marketing systems. MailChimp is probably the most popular one that we come across when I talk to prospective customers of Workbooks. I'd say maybe a third of companies are currently using MailChimp, so it's certainly a popular system within the UK, but we also support Constant Contact and .mailer. The best integration is with MailChimp though, and what happens is that as part of the campaign you create your list in Workbooks of the people that are going to receive this email. That list is uploaded to MailChimp. No need to export, no need to import. It's all very, very quick and automatic. That's uploaded to MailChimp. MailChimp and the other systems as well, they of course allow you to create a nice looking email. They'll deliver the email to the recipients, and then with the integration, automatically coming back into Workbooks comes visibility against the customer and against the campaign of the performance and responses to that email. So you can see against a client's record, for example, the emails they were sent, the emails they opened, the emails they actually clicked on, and also looking at and seeing hard bounce, soft bounce, and opt-out information as well. So nice link there with those marketing systems. A quick mention about quotations and sales forecasting. So we have an easy way of creating quotes as standard with any edition of Workbooks. We can store within Workbooks as well your price list. We can import that price list if you've got pricing already in Excel or similar. That can be uploaded to Workbooks. You can also add in products on the fly, prices on the fly. You've also got the ability to track or create and manage a number of different quote layouts, different quote styles. These quotes are stored in a PDF format. So you design your own look and feel of your quotes with your logos, your terms and conditions and so on. And you have an easy way, once you've created a quote, an easy way with one or two clicks of the mouse to email that quote in a secure PDF format to the client, all tracked through the Workbook system. These quotes also integrate with the opportunity management part of Workbooks. This is another important area of any CRM system, how you manage your sales, your opportunities, and of course that does have a bearing on what we're discussing today, how you manage your time. And this would be a focus of any salesperson's time, is keeping on top of their potential revenue coming through there. And depending on the option you're going for, if you've got the business edition of Workbooks, you have the option of, if you look at a typical sales process, so we've done the quote, the customer comes back and says they want to order the product, so then that quote can be converted by the Workbooks user into a sales order and or an invoice. And we can also record customer payment as well. Incidentally, we do in the UK have options for integrating to Sage 50. So if there's any Sage 50 users out there, there's a nice optional link to that to take these orders and invoices and transfer them into Sage. And a quick mention about customer service. So if you've got any customer service people, they too can use Workbooks for tracking service calls. If this isn't relevant to you, you can disable this so it's not there on your different screens confusing you. So if it is relevant, a nice way for your service people to track any service issue. Again, it's a customizable part of Workbooks, the screen that Workbooks presents to you about the call or the complaint or the issue. You can change, you can take fields away, add fields to it, and track all the activities against that support issue as well. You can apply deadlines. You get visual alerts, so whether you're overdue with those deadlines. Of course, over time, you're building up a nice trend of those issues there against that client, and thereby building up a knowledge base of typical problems and typical issues and solutions that you can search by. So final slide before I dive into Workbooks proper, and putting your manager's hat on now. As you can see with Workbooks, you've got a great way of managing activity levels where we're actually able to track and measure things, then we're better able to manage information. So great way of managing activity levels, number of leads, number of calls we're doing, appointments we're doing or have planned, and so on. The key thing though is our opportunities for many of our users, tracking opportunities and projects in the system and what business is coming through. There's a report writer in Workbooks. There's about 50 or so reports ready-made to get you going, get you started, and you can change any of those reports. You can create your own reports as well. Plus we've got nice dashboards, graphical dashboards, showing you what's happening right now as regards typical key performance indicators like number of activities you're doing, opportunities outstanding, cases outstanding, leads by source, and so on. Okay, let me take you into Workbooks proper. So apologies if some of you have been using Workbooks already. This will be familiar ground to you. And this is what you see when you log into Workbooks. You get the Workbooks desktop, which, as you can see, looks just like your Windows desktop with the Start button, the Workbook Start button down there in the bottom left-hand corner. So immediately, it's got that familiar look and feel. It's not difficult to use. It's so easy and quick to see where everything is and navigate your way around the system. To the right of the Start button is a Google-like search box. You can type in any word or phrase there, or part of someone's name or part of an activity, and you'll find it in the system. But from that Start button and the Start menu, right at the top here, are the three most important things for any CRM solution. First of all, the people, the contacts and companies that you're working with, you're selling to, you're partnering with, and the activities, the interactions that you've got with those people. So if I dive into, say, people first of all, up pops a list of all of the people in my system, and this window is a pretty typical display here in Workbooks, showing me, summarizing row by row, all of the people in my system. You can tell Workbooks what columns you see in this summary view, and down the left-hand side here in this view section, we can also put people into different groups. So we've got an easy way of diving in to see people that have some common criteria. Maybe this is used for managing these people or maybe outputting to some marketing campaign. So there's a list of all my people. If I dive into someone now, let's look at Alan here, a contact called Alan. So what pops a window now? Slightly different looking window with some tabs running across the top there. More on those tabs in a minute. But initially we're on the main tab. Do you see there, top left corner, the main tab? This is the key information about this contact. This is an example of what Workbooks displays for you. This screen can be changed by you. You can take fields away, add fields to it. These fields can be different types of fields, check boxes. They could be drop-down lists. They could be big notes boxes, date fields, and so on. A number of different fields that we support there. And you can search on any of this information. You can build lists and groups of people based on any of this information as well. Then running across the top, we've got a number of different tabs allowing me to display more detailed information about Alan. So we've got some general notes about Alan. This is where we can upload files. We've got various emails that we've got going backwards and forwards with Alan. If you're using the Outlook link, this is how they got there. But we can also link with any other email system, Gmail, Yahoo, Apple. We can integrate with them all. So that as you're sending and receiving those emails, they're automatically being copied there. We can see which organizations Alan is associated with. We can see what opportunities are on the go with Alan as well. So we can see all of those there. We can see all of the transactions. Transactions in Workbooks are financial things, so quotes, orders, invoices, credit notes, contracts. There's an optional contracts module as well, so we can display all of the previous transactions with that, with Alan there. So what we're here to discuss today are activities. So on this activity tab there, 66, we can see the 66 activities specifically related to Alan. And again, they're summarized here, row by row. You can decide what columns you see. But on this display, I've got the subject of the activity. What's the type of activity? Is it a visit? Is it a phone call? Is it some other task? Who is it assigned to? Who in my company is going to do it? What's the status of this activity? Is it a new one? Is it completed? When's the due date? I'll just squeeze this over a little bit more. So this due date will show you when this activity is due. And a lot of these rows are pink or red. And this being a demonstration system, there are lots of overdue activities here. So a nice visual display of some old activities that are awaiting someone to do something with them, and so on. You can customize all of these columns to your heart's content. And if I click on these, I can dive in and see that particular activity in more detail. If I want to create a new activity, then up in the top left corner, very, very simple. In fact, you can do this in a number of different places in Workbooks, scheduling, creating new activities, but this is one area here where we can do it. And we have a standard 4 different types of tasks, activities we can create for Alan. If I select phone call, they're all pretty much similar. And this is an example screen here of a phone call. Now again, this screen can be customized by you. But as standard, we've got the subject of the call. Do you see my cursor flashing in the top left corner there? So that's the subject or objective of the call, whatever it might be. And just to the right of that in the middle, we've got the name of the user. So you're working as a team. Of course, you're not working on your own, so you can schedule this activity to another user, and this activity will pop up on their screen, and then they'll know where this activity came from. You could also define what type of phone call it is, what's the priority of the call. All of these fields that have got a dark blue left-hand border, these are mandatory fields. Typically also, you would put in the due date of the call. So when are you due? When do you want Luke, colleague Luke, to phone this client? Also, you've got an on-screen reminder. This little checkbox here allows you to provide a pop-up alarm type capability. We've got the description of the call down here. Excuse my typing, but you can type in all the notes there relating to that call. Simply now save and close, and job done. That now has been saved, stored in workbooks, never to disappear. It won't go down a black hole somewhere. It's always going to be visible on your screen there, visible against the client. And if I just close down, actually if I close down all of these open windows, there's a nice little shortcut button down here on my taskbar to close all windows. There we are. I've got a clean desktop now. And to see all of the activities that we've got to do, not specific to a certain client or an organization, I can go down to Start here and go up to Activities. That will then display a window of all of my activities. Again, you can customize what columns you see here. You can also view different types of activities. You can put these activities into different groups. So if you just want to see your outstanding activities, I've got a little group here called Open Activities. Maybe I've got a colleague called Luke that I'm managing, and I want to keep an eye on Luke's phone calls. So I've got a little group here called Luke's phone calls, and there we are. There's all of Luke's calls. That was created by using the filtering feature of Workbooks. So very simply here, I can get Workbooks to just display those phone calls that user Luke is the assignee to. So nice and easy way of seeing all of your activities at a glance there. And from a time management point of view, you can sort on any of these columns. You can group on any of these columns as well. So in this little column here called Type, you can also insert columns there. You can group by this field as well if you want to. And that now will show you all of your activities grouped and sorted by the type of activity. So I've got some approval type activities there. I've actually got 25 pages of calls there, and you can scroll through them and see all of those different types of activities. So different ways there of seeing your activities at a glance. If I just remove that grouping there. Plus, as well as seeing your activities in a list type format here, we can also see it as a calendar. And in this more graphical way, we can see things in different date ranges. So this is my month at a glance, but I could look at day or week here. And there we are, see all those activities in a graphical way, and I can click on those to zoom into that activity. With the Outlook integration, you've got a bi-directional sharing of information, so I can put activities into Workbooks or put activities into Outlook, and things will pop up in the other system. So I go back to my Outlook calendar here. There's that sales meeting we saw in Workbooks. If I change this, this will synchronize back to Workbooks and vice versa. So a nice two-way link with Outlook. You only type in stuff once it appears in the other system. Right, that's a quick run through of activities. As regards other tools that you can use to stay on top of your activities to manage your time, well, there's dashboards in Workbooks, so you can actually see and customize these different dashboards to see what's going on there as regards your activities, your opportunities, your leads, your cases. Plus, we have a report writer, so back to my Start button and up to Reports here. We can see all of the standard reports that we've got in Workbooks. They are stored and presented to you by the type of report, and right at the top there we've got some activity reports, so I can click on one of those and see what they're like. And this is, I can see this is actually showing me now an overview of all of the outstanding activities I've got running in my Workbook system by user, and we can drill into this user here called James, so we can see then all of the activities specific to James. So that's a quick little report there. These reports, as I say, can be amended. You can also export all of the data that you see, provided you've got the security clearance to do it, into an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV type file. And also you can chart this information as well. You can produce a nice looking bar graph or pie chart from that information. That's a quick run through workbooks. I was intending today just to explain, just give a brief overview of the system, the interface, but specifically talk more about activity and activity management. And I'd like to just summarize the presentation this afternoon just with some overview of costings. And there's an annual cost to workbooks. You subscribe to it on an annual basis, and there's a cost per user of doing that. There's the two different editions there, CM edition or business edition. So business edition, price slightly higher, allows you to create the orders and invoices and so on. All of these systems will help you, will allow you to track your activities and track your quotations. The Outlook integration, which I briefly showed you, which allows you to share your emails, your calendar, contacts and tasks. That's £48 per user per annum, and there's a few other options there to consider also. Plus, realistically, budget for any assistance you may want from Wizard Systems. We provide different services on an hourly basis or a daily basis, or as a project. We can, once we understand your needs, we can quote for those separately as regards any assistance or training you need to get the maximum out of your workbooks investment. Okay, as we're reaching the end of the session on workbooks and activity management, I'd now like to open out the presentation to any questions here. So just locate that question section, please, on your meeting control panel. I'll be happy to try and answer those questions for you. So first question from Ian: Can you hold files against an activity? Yes, you can, Ian. If I go back to workbooks here, and if I look at I've got a little shortcut there for all my activities. If I dive into a particular activity here, and right at the top there you've got files, so that's where you can easily upload your files. You do have with workbooks an initial allocation of 10 gigabytes of storage, so plenty, a generous amount of storage there. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, next question from Jane. Why do some entries in organizations not have the red cross by them and some do? If that is, Jane, when you look at your, say, your activities, and you've got these crosses here, I'd imagine that's where you're looking. That's a very good question. I would assume it's something to do with access rights, maybe, but I will double check that, Jane, and I've got your email address. I'll come back to you. Oh, I can see Jane's asked a few questions. Next question from Jane: is there any way of putting notes from an activity section into the main organization history? There seems to be notes for both sections, but the organization notes section covers the individual as well. Well, yes, if you make notes against an individual, that will roll up to the organization of a company. And there are notes. Every activity has notes. If I go into this phone call, these are the specific notes there for this specific activity. If I go to this particular contact, then she will have her notes tab there. These are just general notes. I don't think there's a way of displaying all of the activity notes there. You might be able to display possibly notes. No, you see the problem with notes is that it's can be a very extensive amount of information, Jane, and that could be difficult to display it on one screen. So the very nature of notes is that there could be many different notes entries against a contact. So That's the way that Workbooks, and indeed many other CRM systems work. They have these multiple notes entries. You've got to go to that relevant notes tab or screen to see them all. Next question from Jane. If you've got 2 contacts or more for one organization, how can you import into Workbooks without creating an organization for each contact? Well, I've got a little knowledge-based topic I can email you, Jane, on how, if you've got a spreadsheet or similar, a file that's got information on relating to the organization and the multiple contacts within that company, how in one process you can import them into it. So you end up with one organization, Jane, but linked to it are 2 contacts. I'll email that to you. Next question from Jane. Will the MailChimp integration work with the trial version? Yes, as long as it's not the free edition. When you sign up for using Workbooks, there is a free edition which does have some functionality taken away from it, as you might expect, but with the CRM or Business Edition 30-day trial, you do have the ability to try out the MailChimp integration. I'll double check, Jane, what trial you're on, and quite simply, if you look at the training videos, there's a very good 10-minute training video on integrating Workbooks with MailChimp. There it is there. It's also up on YouTube also. I'm going to take you through how you register the 2 together. Next question from Yen. What is the first step for me to integrate my emails into Workbooks? I would also want to integrate Contact Us from our website. There's 2 different questions there. If you're not using the Outlook integration, Nien, then you need to use and familiarize yourself with the Workbooks email Dropbox feature. So in your preferences in Workbooks, so every user has their own preferences. This is where you can define the integration with any email application via this email Dropbox. And basically what it does is, in the background, when you send emails or when you receive emails, your email system via a background BCC or a background forwarding, it's copying the email into the Workbook system together with the attachments. As regards the contact form, integrating your contact form into Workbooks, you'll need to go to your Start menu and Configuration and Email and Integration, and look at the Web to Lead option here. This will generate the HTML form for you that you can integrate on your website. You can actually paste the HTML code onto your website. The actual coding it gives you, Nien, is quite basic. You may want to, if you've got some HTML tools there, you may want to tailor it a bit more as regards the look and feel, but that's simply how you do that. And again, that process is described as a training video. So take a look at the email Dropbox feature and the Web to Lead feature. Next question from Jane. Is it possible to bulk edit? The answer to that would be depending on what you're likely to do. There's no standard sort of global replace, Jane, so you can't, as standard, go across all of your contacts and update one value with another, but there are other ways of doing that within Workbooks. So if you can email me or let me know specifically what you're trying to do there, Jane, I can give you my best answer for that. Next question from Ron. Can you import from Salesforce? Well, Ron, you need to, your Salesforce information need to export out, and similar to Jane's question, you've got this import tool here, and this is where you can import. Down the left-hand side here, Ron, these are all of the parts you can import into. And what Jane was talking about earlier was importing people and organizations, company information into Workbooks. It's possible to do both or either or. And indeed, you may be able to export from Salesforce other information as well, like your opportunities or your activities ongoing right now. Those two could be imported, uploaded into Workbooks for you. So hopefully that's answered your question there. So I don't think there's any more questions coming through. Thanks very much for those questions. They're all very good questions, especially Jane. You get the award for the most questions there. Just like to wrap up by thanking everyone again for your interest in Workbooks and your time this afternoon. Of course, if you want a more detailed presentation with your company, please let me know. There is the trial as well. If you go to workbooks.com, you can sign up there for the trial. If you do sign up for the CRM or business trial, you will have the full functionality, so the MailChimp integration and some of the customization options that I've been talking about this afternoon. So you'll be encouraged to sign up for that trial as well. And if you get any questions during that trial, then you've only just got to call us or email us, any of us here at Wizard Systems. We're only too happy to help you out. So thanks very much again for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you. Please let me know if you need any more information or a quotation maybe for your requirements. You want some figures there confirmed, just let me know. But thanks very much indeed for your time, and have a nice afternoon.